So we have now prediction markets that have been replacing gambling. Now, what's the difference? They're called two different things. That's the main difference.
Prediction markets are not just gambling.
Nope.
There's also a lot of insider trading too. Here's the Kalshi CEO
exciting.
kind of explaining the goal here, which is that eventually we can gamble on everything.
That's right.
The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now understand, that guy who wants to make a tradable asset out of any difference of opinion, anything you care about, that guy just partnered with CNN and CNBC. Already the news is embracing, we're bear hugging, entering gambling markets into our news. Just like ESPN.
I do feel like we have crossed the threshold with CNN partnering with Kalshi. I think that, like, in a TV show, this would have been jumping the shark. That's a pretty big one, guys. That's a really big one.
But sports betting odds into their programs, and it became a big part of the sports watching experience. It's all about, hey, what
people
are the
love
odds
gambling
on the game today? What are the markets saying the odds are?
That's what matters.
And part of what I find so grating about this dialogue, the debate right now, is the insistence by these CEOs that they are not actually gambling. There is propaganda.
Of course not. No, you're putting your money on something that has an uncertain outcome that you can't affect the control of. But that's not really gambling. I mean, are we really going to say that's gambling whenever you just put your money up on something and you could lose it or win it depending on what happens? I mean, is that really gambling? I mean, come on, guys.
Going on that they are something completely different, all because they found a regulatory loophole that allows them to be gambling in states where it's not allowed. So here's just one post that expresses that. He says, Kalshi is not a gambling company. Saying so is incorrect.
That's
I assume that people calling Kalshi gambling are uninformed rather than being defamatory. But Kalshi is not gaming. Now, I want to point out to that guy that most of the volume on prediction markets like Kalshi is made up by sports betting, aka the same thing that people bet on, like with DraftKings, FanDuel, Prize Picks.
Yeah, so basically, it's not gambling because we're calling it predicting. Well, how could it be gambling if we're calling it a different word? That's totally different, guys. What do you mean? Well, yeah, no, I mean, it works the same way as the other websites, but ours is different because it's called something different. It's semantics. No, and it's working. That's what's crazy, is it's working.
That's what people are actually spending the majority of the volume on. On Kalshi specifically. Nevertheless, CEOs are bending over backwards, who, by the way, are financially invested in seeing a difference. They say there's such a difference between sports gambling and, prediction markets. Here's Vlad Tenev, who actually has prediction markets for sports, explaining the substantial difference.
Let's hear it.
Are qualitatively different than sports gambling for a couple of reasons. One is these are CFTC federally regulated event contracts. And
so because of some regulation, it's different? So it's different because we said it's different?
what that means is instead of, betting against the house or setting a line, this is an exchange, a designated contract market where buyers and sellers are meeting. So,
by the way, by meeting, he means they're betting against each other.
Yeah.
But he's right that instead of betting against the house is pitting people against each other, and the house just takes a cut based on trading volume. So rather than actually setting the line themselves and betting against you, they're allowing you to bet against other people, and they're still...
I think there's a bit of a difference, though. Prediction markets are you versus the people betting on the other side, whereas traditional gambling is you versus the house. I mean, that's like a second level difference. Like, I mean, is that a difference for like individuals? Like, I mean, the only way that would be a difference would make it easier to insider trade. So I wouldn't even think that's a good thing.
Taking a cut, it's
I'll be honest.
Just a different way to take a cut.
You're not, setting a line. So I think it's very different.
But it's really not, though. You can bet on FanDuel or DraftKings one thing, and you can go bet the same thing, basically, on Robinhood.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? Functionally, it's the same thing.
It's both sports gambling one way or the other. And this has generated an interesting fight between the nascent upcomers who want to be in this prediction market game and the casinos, who kind of are feeling cheated right now because they have to go through the hoops of gambling regulation. And so you actually saw the AGA, who I'm actually very against. It's a trade group for gambling, but I guess the enemy of my enemy.
So let me get this straight. So the gambling industry is mad at the prediction industry because, holy shit. Of course this makes sense. Because they're mad that they're getting regulated, but you're not. It's a gambling civil war. It is. It's unironically a gambling civil war. Yes.
Is my friend for now. Basically, they put up their own version of a propaganda website against the prediction markets because the prediction markets are eating too much of their lunch, and they're like, hey, this is unfair that these guys have the loophole. So they're now propagandizing and running ads for the fact that
and the funny thing is they're right.
Prediction markets are just sports betting, like they are gambling.
When prediction markets become sports books, they put consumers and the integrity of sports at risk.
That's what the gambling industry is saying.
Yeah.
While the prediction market industry is saying, no, guys, we're not just that. We're.
Well, how could it put it at risk if people were already rigging things beforehand? How would? Yeah, I don't know about that, guys.
Truth engine, actually.
Yeah, how does that work?
So it's kind of amazing. They actually both ran their own propaganda polls. Here's some AGA research that supposedly shows that 85% of Americans say these contracts are gambling, not financial.
See, this is the kind of reason why I never trust studies. So the gambling website ran a study against the other gambling website, and it said that our website's better and their website's bad. It's science. See? Look at the study. 85% say it's bad.
Instruments. 84% say they should only be available through state-licensed sportsbooks, clearly arguing their point. And then if you go to Kalshi's website, they have their own propaganda survey. Quote, nationwide poll shows broad support for prediction markets.
So wait a minute. So you have these massive gambling companies that are running fake studies to gaslight the public into being okay with them being deregulated while they're buying up and partnering with news companies in order to commodify every outcome. And this is amazing. That we're gonna be eating people again soon. We're gonna bring back slavery. This is, oh my God, I can't wait. I've been waiting on this for a while. Finally, I know.
9 in 10 voters say Americans should have access to prediction markets, viewing them as financial instruments, not gambling. Well, gee, guys, which is it? Can we figure it out? It's like the prediction market books and the sports books and gaming companies are battling out over which is gambling, which is not. Of course, I think the logical view is that if you are offering
logical view is that both of them are gambling and they obviously should be regulated in the same way. It's that simple. And I think that prediction markets should probably have a degree of regulation where anybody who's setting them up can't be involved with the event itself. But I think overall, prediction markets are really easy to scam. I've thought about getting involved in betting in prediction markets just because of how stupid people are. Really, just that reason, just how stupid people are. And also, you can rig it. As far as I know, it's not against the law yet to rig a prediction market. So why not just do it? Set them up, rig it, and that's it.
Betting, the same product
Easy money.
As the gambling company. Those two things are the same thing.
Online gambling should be illegal? Okay.
But it's a weird position to be in, to be agreeing with the propaganda arm of the gambling companies. But they're now fighting against the propaganda arm of the prediction market.
That's right.
In fact, recently the prediction market companies have gotten together and created a coalition. It's like their own trade group called Predict.
It's the Gambling Avengers.
Action. And they've partnered with Crypto.com, Robinhood, Coinbase, and Underdog. These are all guys who are getting in the prediction market game. They said, we created the coalition with a simple mission, provide a voice for the prediction markets against adverse legacy lobbying groups, a.k.a. the casinos. They're
Other
fighting
gambling.
the casinos because they want to win and not be seen as gambling so they can win a majority share of the gambling in America. It is insane.
That's it. That's why. Yeah.
You have the prediction market guys just stumbling over themselves for whether we should allow actual insider trading in their markets, because that's a part of this that we haven't discussed, which is that these prediction markets are so grating in that they not only don't admit what they are, they also try to be something they're not, which is they say, we are not only not gambling, we're the news, actually, and we are such a valuable source.
Well, I think they are. I'd much rather trust Kalshi or Polymarket than any poll on CNN, Fox, or MSNBC. I would trust them in a million times more, because why would I trust a poll that's being selectively created in order to... Because people do polling... The idea that polling is like this unbiased, oh, let's just see what people think. You've got to be retarded to believe that. Of course that's not true. The main reason why people do polling is very simply so they can create a consensus, manufacture a consensus, and then make people go along with it because they think that's already how things are going to go. That's the reason why polling happens in the way that it does. Isn't that scamming, though? Yeah, it is. Of course it's scamming. Like, obviously, but it's legal scamming. Putting your money where your mouth is. Yeah, why would I bet on what people poll for if I could bet on what people bet on? People, whenever they put their money on something, there is like an extra level of like clarity to that. You're not thinking, oh, this is the way it should be. No, they're thinking about, I have $700 riding on this shit. Yeah, I think the other guy's going to win. There's realism rather than idealism.
Of information. Here's Vlad Tinov again expressing this.
I also think that, if you think about the news, right, I like to think about prediction markets as the next...
Well, I think it's a massive failure of the news that prediction markets have now taken over basically, the news is so untrustworthy that the news has to partner with a gambling website in order to make itself relevant and trustworthy again. That's how bad CNN is. That they're partnering with a prediction market gambling website in order to effectively increase their credibility. That's how bad the news is. Wow.
Generation of the news. And we know the news is economically valuable. People pay for getting the newspaper. They pay indirectly for, shows like this through advertising.
They do.
And so if you get the news before it happens, that should be even more economically valuable.
Of course.
So I think a lot of people, it's easy to just kind of lump it in with gambling, but this is a liquid market that gives people information in real time. Yep. I think there's a ton of economic value in that.
And we haven't even reached the next form. Here's what the next form is going to be. It's going to be people that artificially inflate odds on a prediction market in order to create a passive incentive and a monetary incentive in order for people to vote and behave in a certain way. So what's going to happen next, and it's probably already happened, we just don't know about it, is that people are going to put a lot of money as a bet on a certain candidate or an individual, and then it's going to show that that individual has a much higher rate of winning whatever the fuck they're running for. Well, then what happens is that everybody is going to say, well, this person's winning on the prediction market. I bet I should bet more money on him. And now it creates effective like a snowball effect where a person's influence is now being effectively it's being manufactured by people that are just betting on it in order to make money. So that's what's going to happen. That's the next step of this. That's every life, though? Well, I mean, I don't know about that. Sounds like a Black Mirror episode. It already works that with money and advertising. Well, I'm talking about with like politics, right? So like if a candidate, think about it like this, right? If a candidate, because people view prediction markets as a very strong indicator of what's going to happen, right? It's as obvious that people think this. So if you were able to invest like $5 million into a prediction market to create an artificial probability that your candidate for win would win, and then you had enough data to show that a prediction market, probability creates this much of a, trend in terms of behavior, well, oh shit, now we've managed to hack the entire system. You see what I'm saying? It's easy. It's so easy. You can invest 5 million directly into them and win anyway. It's basically an advertising cost. That's the next step. That's not how it works. It obviously is how it works. What do you mean?
Yeah, you know what else gives people information in real time? Are sports betting odds. Like,
yes,
you could make the same argument for sports betting. It's like, oh, you can get a real look at who's going to win the game by what all the sharp bettors are betting at that time. You can say the same thing here. But this whole idea of like, you get the news early. The only way you get the news early, by the way, is if it's insider trading. Everyone understands that, right? All these prediction markets are doing is just aggregating sentiment on the news. The only way you can get something that's not in the news,
and I think it really goes to show how much of an unaccounted for market that people have for just simply getting news. People just want to find out what's happening, but they can't find out what's happening because everybody's trying to lie to them.
These markets
That's what's happening.
is if someone with non-news information trades, which is AKA inside information.
Ooh.
And there's a funny moment where the CEO of Coinbase, who again is part of this prediction market new grift, he kind of realizes this and he goes, you know, I was talking to the CFTC nominee the other day, who, by the way, may regulate these markets. And he was kind of trying to decide maybe we should allow insider trading because maybe that makes our product even better.
You know, I actually had a really interesting conversation with one of the folks that was nominated to be CFTC commissioner about this. And he asked me, he said, do you think we should allow insider trading in...
Oh my God. Oh my God. Let it play out. This is amazing. I loved it. This is crazy. Should we allow it? Yes.
Prediction markets. And I said, it's actually it's not as clear-cut question, right? Because
really?
If your goal is to actually, for the 99% of people trying to get signal about what's going to happen in the world, like, is the Suez Canal going to be reopened?
So it's for the greater good.
Or whatever.
Yes.
You actually want insider trading. You want, some admirable...
Not only is it not bad, but insider trading is actually good. Oh, so we're going all the way. You should be saying, thank you, insider trading. You want insider trading. Okay. Yeah.
Admiral sitting on a ship in the Suez Canal who has really good information to be trading, so you get better, higher quality signal out of them, right? Now, if you want to preserve the integrity of those markets, maybe you don't want insider trading, right?
You see the integrity of the markets. Yeah, maybe you don't want it. But here's the thing, right? And so, and the thing is that what he's saying, there's like a logical continuity to it, right? I can clearly see it, that there is a logical continuity to it, but that's like if you just ignore everything else.
So there might be like a decentralization integrity of those markets. Maybe you don't want insiders out of them, right? Now, if you want to preserve the integrity of those markets, maybe you don't want insider trading, right? So there might be like a decentralization test that has to go in here, but it's not a clear-cut answer.
That's right, guys. Maybe we want the insider trading.
Yes, not only is insider trading not bad, but you actually want it.
So we can get the news of tomorrow today by encouraging people financially to go ahead and give us the news now, right?
Yes.
You encourage basically leakers because you financially incentivize them trading in your market and having an inside edge. I want to be super clear. There's a reason we didn't allow this in the securities market. I mean, you can make the same argument for like,
why not?
Well, what if we want the stock market to give us tomorrow's news today on public companies? You can just allow insider trading.
Because it would be good, like, if you know that you're going to buy a company tomorrow and then you tell all of your friends that so they can invest in it right now. I feel like that's kind of good because then you and all of your friends can make a lot of money. And, like if you're happy, then everybody wins, right? I mean, it seems like it's just this is, what the logic like this is? It's like S-Fan trying to rationalize. Like, I remember in AQ40, he went and he said, well, we're going to give me the first set of AQ40 gear. That way we don't have to worry about me getting it anymore. And I was like, bro, I have been greedy before, but this is on another level. Oh my God. He says, yeah. And then he had the full set the same week. Yeah. It's like, well, if I have it, then we don't have to worry about me getting it anymore. There you go. Psychic vampires.
That would tell you,
classic
right? The market
vampires.
would move before the news came out. But there's a lot of reasons we don't do that, mainly that it's cheating the average trader. But these new prediction market CEOs don't see it that way.
No,
they don't want to be regulated by gambling laws. They don't want to be regulated by securities insider trading laws. Here's the Polymarket CEO being asked a question about insider trading too. He seems to suggest maybe it is also a good thing.
But predictive markets do rely on someone having some inside information.
Yeah, I think that people going and having an edge to the market is a good thing. Obviously,
I really like this. This is this is such a, like, we're at a point now where, yes, exactly. No, it's so good. The reason why I like it is the fact that it's not enough for it to not be bad. It's actually good. It's actually good. Like, no. Like, just go all the way with it.
You need to curate them, and you need to be really clear and stringent on where the line is drawn and like sort of ethics, and spend a lot of time on that. But it's sort of an inevitability that this will happen, and there's a lot.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Everybody knows it's gonna happen. Sure. So you might as well just let it happen. Fuck.
Benefits from it, and people will adapt.
Wait, what? What does he mean? It's inevitable that we're
everybody's gonna have scams anyway, so you might as well just let people get scammed. I mean, fuck, like, who cares? Losers lose, right? I mean, like, there it is. Losers lose.
Insider trading, and people should just adapt to the idea that they're going to be front run by some insider. I mean,
that's right.
Is this not crazy to anyone else?
No, because gamblers are actually, see, Shane Copeland, that's the guy that made Polymarket, the guy that just got interviewed there. People that understand people realize how retarded people are. And the truth is that he's right. People's addiction to gambling, their own stupidity, and their willingness to just basically kick themselves in the dick over and over will override any logical thought that they could potentially have. They won't have any logical thoughts. They're just going to think, oh, I'm going to win. Yeah, but their insider's going to be on my side because they know I'm going to win. That's it. They're that stupid. They are. They're that stupid. It's crazy.
I saw on our Reddit the other day, somebody was like, hey, CoffeeZilla, you should expose this Google inside trader.
And Google inside trader has been officially exposed. Polymarket profited over around $1 million in a single day betting on the Google search markets. Based.
On Polymarket. And I was just thinking to myself, like, expose what? Like, this
it's out in the open.
Is explicitly part of the offering of platforms like this is they say, hey, you're going to get the signal early.
Yeah.
How do you think they're getting this signal? Like, this is a feature.
That's a really good point. Yeah, he's right.
Not a bug of these platforms.
It's a feature, not a bug.
And by implementing non-insider trading rules, they're actually hurting the edge of these markets. Now,
he's right. He's right. If you regulate them, you will make them less accurate.
Last thing I want to say is that not all gambling companies see prediction markets as a bad thing.
Well, they're probably trying to get in on it.
There has been a big split and divide at the American Gaming Association.
This is the great gambling civil war of 2026 we see brewing here, okay? It's happening right now. You're getting next year's news today.
DraftKings and FanDuel recently dropped out.
Yes.
This is the NCAA president saying, I'd be willing to conclude that that's a big part of their reasoning, is they're going to get into the prediction market space. They can't afford to let those folks dominate.
So they're dropping out. So DraftKings and FanDuel are just trying to get in on the space. That's all there is to it. Yeah, they don't really think it's true. They just think that's like, well, maybe it is true, maybe it's not. But if we can make money off of it, then it's not true.
That green space they can't currently access. Giving away the game again that this is all gambling. The whole reason that the gambling companies hate this is because they're stealing their lunch. The whole reason that some gambling companies are embracing it is because they see it as the future of gambling because they can target more people at a lower age.
I mean, am I the only person? I've got to take a step back. Am I the only person that thinks that it's crazy that CNN partnered with a prediction market? Like, I don't know how that's not, like, the biggest fucking deal. That's nuts. Holy shit. Oh my God. It's low even for them. Even for them. It really, like, we entered, I really think that, you know, like I've said that we've had like dimension shifts, right? A dimension shift. Like Trump wins the election 2016. Whoop. Elon buys Twitter. Whoop. I think that this is another shift. We have entered into an alternate universe with Kalshi partnering with CNN. People don't know it yet, but it happened.
In more states. And when you actually hear the CEOs of sports betting companies talk about this, they say they think they have an edge in this space.
Yes.
And DraftKings and Fanatics, I think we have such strategic advantages from the enormous customer base that we have.
Yeah, of course.
To all of the experience.
They do. Are you saying like an advantage over the Kalshis and Polymarket?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so some of the gambling companies, the ones that are leaving the American Gaming Association, they're the ones that are like, yeah, this is actually great. We love this. We're entering this. We have a strategic edge because this is all gambling, of course. And so we're going to...
And the thing is, like, traditional gambling will never go away. Like, there's like a gas station near me, and they have slot machines at the gas station, and people just gamble at them. And, like, that's the way it is now, right? Like, everybody just gambles everywhere, and that's just the way it is. Like, you go on your phone, you're gambling. You play video games, you're gambling. You play, you watch the news, you're gambling. You watch sports, you're gambling. You go to the gas station, you're gambling. You're in your car, you're probably gambling on your phone while you're driving. It's just how it is. Those are illegal. Who cares? There's cops there all the time. They don't give a fuck.
Of course, clean up because we have the most experience in the gambling space. The only way to really solve this is regulation, which we are absolutely not going to get clear rules of the road on, at least not ones that make any kind of meaningful stop to the kind of crazy takeover that's been happening.
That's right.
And the reason I'm willing to bet on that, ironically, is because...
we could do a Polymarket odds on CoffeeZilla being right about there not being regulation. That's a good idea.
Because of this headline right here. Trump media enters prediction...
Okay, so, it's not getting regulated. All right, well, it's been fun. Yep, great.
Market business. If you didn't know, the Trump family is getting very invested into prediction markets. In fact, you had
somebody says, "Oh, this is beautiful. I love this. This is the kind of stuff that really makes me want to wake up in the morning." There's Polymarket bets on the next airstrike on Syria.
Jr. Become the Polymarket advisor. He was also an advisor of Kalshi as well. Now I guess they're taking all that experience and offering a Truth Social prediction market called Truth Predict. It's a partnership between Trump's media social network, Truth Social, and Crypto.com.
I don't like the name. I think you should make a better name. It's a shitty name. It's boring. Kalshi is clever. Polymarket is really, it's such a great name. Like Truth Predict. Like, I mean, come on, guys.
Derivatives of North America. It'll allow our loyal users to engage in prediction markets with a trusted network while harnessing our social platform to provide totally unique ways for users to discuss, aka gamble, and compare their predictions. Our president literally has a financial stake, or at least his family does, in the prediction markets going well. And part of going well means keeping the regulatory sort of free, open ocean of opportunity right now.
Well, gambling is effectively a wealth redistribution system that takes wealth from stupid, dumb people and gives it to smart, rich people. That's what happens. So basically, you have a bunch of dumb people that are like, oh, I think I'm going to, oh, shit. And they lose, right? And so where does that money go? Well, that goes to a guy that's got a fucking Bentley. That's the guy. He's the guy.
Which means no regulation or very little regulation. So honestly, I have very low expectations for regulators doing anything.
Exactly.
The very fact that they're debating with Brian Armstrong about whether we should just allow insider trading with one of the...
it's cooked. It's cooked. We're cooked.
Possible commissioners is basically a giant red flag of what's to come. But I just wanted to cover this. I wanted to give people a primer on what these platforms are, what they do, what their arguments are, and the fact that they're fighting with the gambling companies over market share of our country, which I think is probably bad.
Guys, can we get a Polymarket odds on whether having Polymarket in a community is going to be bad? Yeah, can we have an odds? Can we do a prediction market on whether this is going to be bad or not? Okay, success states are going to be suicides go up by more than 0.1%. And also, let's see here. Bank foreclosures go up by 0.5%. And other ones, right? Yeah, let's do this.
Probably bad. When the casinos say is probably bad. Probably bad. When the casinos say you're cheating, you're getting ahead by breaking the rules.
That's right.
That's probably a bad sign.
Yep. If the casinos are the ones doing it and they're mad, bet on the mortgage. Yeah, exactly. 0.1 suicide is too low. Yeah, we got to get those numbers up, guys. Got to get those numbers up. Anyway, I think it's insider trading too. It obviously is. It 100% is. I've thought about doing Polymarket odds for different things. I might do that at some point. I think that really there has been a part of me that, like, I'm the kind of person that whenever I realize that things are whenever I realize things are off the rails, I just take a step back and I'm like, all right, well, that's just the way it's going to be. That's it. That's life. And so anyway, Loser Tony, don't bet. Yeah, let me link you guys the video. I mean, CoffeeZilla tries to fight the good fight, but man, there's a lot of fucking money out there, isn't it?